taken session 5. It's Ethan running at 13 kilometers an hour at a 2% incline. Watching it in real time now, body position is excellent, real rhythmic cycle of the legs and maintaining that speed really well. If we just now look to break it down and we look at foot strike and where we're landing. So if we just pause it on the left as we come in. Okay, so that's our position here where we've just touched the ground. A couple of points to pick up on in terms of foot strike. Really impressed with this change from going from that real heel strike with the hindmost part of the foot to that forefoot and with a low heel. So we've got the forefoot there and we've got the heel position, which is very low off the ground. I appreciate it's a little bit blurred on there, but it's low off the ground in terms of where Ethan is landing. And in terms of the body position, our body is pulled up, so we're using the glutes, hamstrings, which we want to do. And then we've got a nice line coming down through that shoulder into that hip area, and then down underneath. So we're running nice and tall in that motion. So that's really good. In terms of the knee, we've got the knee coming over the mid part of the laces. I'll show a comparison with the right, but maybe just need to pull that knee up a little bit, fraction, so we just get a little bit softer bend in there. It's not excessive. If it's excessive, it's coming to the toes, but it's just a little tweak to just pull that knee back a little bit, so it's just over the laces. It's not going to prevent Ethan from picking up or maintaining speed, but it's just not falling into that wanting to collapse. But really good foot placement, really good foot strike, really good posture as a consequence on that left landing. So let's have a look at the right. We come into the cycle. Okay. So that's where we're landing here. And again, we're coming down with a flat foot, so we can see there, and then we're in that position, which is again awesome. I'll just start with the point that I finished on, was that knee. So here we can just see there's that softer bend in the knee. So that's that first line, just from the top of the lower part of the quad, and then coming down. So you can see just where we've got that little bend, which is perfect because it's a really nice quick rebound with the ground, and we keep our posture up and tall. It's a really subtle difference. And then if we look at our shin angle then is not bang on 90 degrees, which is absolutely 100% accurate, what we're looking for, perpendicular, and there's no gap between the knees as well, which is absolutely superb. Posturally, again, Ethan is bang on point. So where that foot's coming down, it's going to be 1 inch, 2 inches, which is going to eliminate that gap between the knee underneath that hip. So that's really good improvement. So holding that brilliantly at 13 kilometers. If we just take it to the heel. Okay, so we're getting into mid swing. So that's our mid swing. We've got our right heel nicely up to our glutes. All right, so that heel's cutting through nicely in there on the right side, and on the left it is millimeters in it, but we're pretty much we can see by the lines, that second one I've just drawn in, we're pretty balanced in terms of that consistency of that hill coming up. So that's really good improvement on there. And if we put it into the picture of how that cycle is looking, and this gives you a good insight, and you would have seen this if you watched the depends which order you've watched the videos really. But this shows a good insight of how the foot will cut through the air. So it's going to come in round that circle nicely, and then bringing that knee just in front of the hip and then placing down. So it's a really good cycling up, and then we can see the flight time is increased. So just that moment there, that's our flight time before we're coming back down. So it's a good repetitive and consistent circle, drawing that outer part. So that's superb. In terms of arms, and before we do that, that allows that shorter lever, which helps to improve reduction of that overstride. Also, in terms of with that flight time, because we're coming up to the heels at that faster speed, we're going to pick up speed, maintain speed a lot better. Also means that we're off the ground, so we're in flight time for longer. Remember, we get injured on the floor, not on the ground. If we look at the arms, which is that second one to look at, third point, we were looking at. So we've got precision here, real precision, that hand up to that shoulder, and we've got the elbow driving back to the pocket or to hip, which is excellent. And then if we change it over, so really drive it. That's a nice, again, that hand's come a little bit higher than the shoulder. That will come with practice, but we've got a really good drive of that elbow coming back, creating that window, and that hand coming up to the shoulder. And the head position is fantastic. Eyes looking forward, chin, bottom of the chin reflecting down to the ground. Really good work from Ethan. Looking to apply that technique to faster speeds. In terms of areas to continue just to focus on, as we discussed, is just maintaining the feet landing on two tracks, knees, toes facing forwards. Banded work will help with that in terms of the ankle and the foot placement as well. And then it's just applying it dynamically in the running action. But good work.